Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome back to Fallen London. Today we are going to be carrying on with the Tempest exceptional story and we are exploring the tempestuous urchin's anger. So we will be picking up where we left off here. I think we went to the orphanage in the last episode. So today we are going to the Shuttered Palace. The tempestuous urchin claims it is her family's house. You know the route, but the tempestuous urchin insists on leading the way. My family will be so happy to see me, she trills. Once I'm home, I won't need you anymore. Menace hangs over the shuttered palace like a mist. Armed guards flank its iron gates. The tempestuous urchin hangs back, nibbling a fingernail. Royal people don't knock on doors, she snaps when you look at her. Go up to the gate and tell the guards to let me in. Okay. Who are her parents exactly? The child appears to believe she is royalty. I don't know who they are exactly, says the tempestuous urchin, turning pink, but they're definitely a prince and a princess, maybe even a king and a queen. Look! She pulls a filthy scrap of paper from her pocket. Beneath the grime, a reproduced painting of some royal children is just visible. I look like them, see? She widens her large blue eyes to prove the point. I don't remember the palace, so I was probably stolen by, he considers, a servant or a jealous aunt. Whoever it was, I'll punish them when I'm back inside. She frowns. After dinner. I don't think this is going to go as well as she likes. Well, let's ask the guard to admit the tempestuous urchin to the palace. You have been granted entrance. Perhaps she will be too? You're allowed, says the guard to you, but I'm not letting that grubby little urchin in. Excuse me, says the tempestuous urchin, shoving you aside. But I'm the long-lost daughter of, she considers, the king. If you don't let me in, he'll be very cross and probably put you to death. I hear people claiming to be long-lost royals 5 times a day, says the guard. And there ain't no king in here. Now piss off. The tempestuous urchin unleashes a series of colourful insults that make his mustache twitch. Then she grabs your hand and marches away, her cheeks red. That did go about as well as I had anticipated. Maybe the guard will let me in if I can tell him my parents' names, says the tempestuous urchin. I think they're on that bit of paper, but I can't She goes red. I mean, I think my servant should read it. He thrusts the grimy scrap at you. Oh, let's have a look. The tempestuous urchin believes it bears some clue as to her parents' identities. The piece of paper was torn from a book that was published long before the fall. While the reproduced painting does indeed show the royal family, the brood of shiny-haired children are oblivious to the future that awaits them. The fawning text mythologizes the royals, but the only facts it imparts are about diamonds and wedding dresses. Even if the tempestuous urchin is descended from royalty, there is no way this piece of paper would confirm it. Well, says the tempestuous urchin, does it say if anyone's baby got stolen? And we have 2 options. We can tell the unvarnished truth. This book was published decades before she was born. There is no way it could answer her question. Or we could give her some hope. It doesn't contradict the possibility. I'm going to say the truth. Probably going to be the bad option, but, you know. You're lying, snaps the tempestuous urchin. I bet you don't even know how to read. Grown-ups are always pretending they know things just to make other people feel stupid. She snatches the paper back and smooths it on her knee, trembling fingers stroking the picture. I'm cross with you, says the tempestuous urchin, rubbing her nose. But I'll need courtiers when I'm an empress to read things, and bring me toffees, and have people put to death. I think I'll make you a courtier. But you have to tell me what you think of the people in the palace. Oh, two options. They are just people, as flawed and worthy of love as anyone, or they are tyrants. Monarchies cannot exist without oppression. I'm going to say they are just people. You explain how there is no fundamental difference between emperors and urchins. They are of equal worth. All people are imperfect, and all deserve to be loved. The tempestuous urchin considers this. I'm a person, she whispers. I know you said all people are worth the same, even empresses and urchins, says the tempestuous urchin. But empresses live in palaces and can eat all the toffees they want. Do you think... I mean, it doesn't matter what you think, obviously. But do you think I could be an empress one day? So 3 options. Yes, she deserves the position more than anyone in that palace. I would encourage the tempestuous urchin to express her anger. Or such a thing is possible, but not desirable. The page she tore from the book makes royal life sound like a gilded cage. Or she could be something better. If she wants its power, the storm god is more powerful than any empress. I'm going to say such a thing is possible but not desirable. Because I'm trying to encourage her to let go of her anger. I suppose those princesses have to sit still a lot, says a tempestuous urchin, and not get dirt on their dresses. And those guards probably don't let any of their friends come to play. She examines the disintegrating picture of the royal children. It must take a long time to put their hair in curls like that, she muses. No one's made me brush my hair for weeks. He grins proudly. The tempestuous urchin feels better about her situation. I've had enough of this place, declares the tempestuous urchin. Are you coming? We can leave. There's nothing more to be learned here. The tempestuous urchin screws up the torn out page and throws it into the gutter. We can continue this story anywhere in London. The tempestuous urchin stares at her ragged boots. Something is troubling her. Let's simply listen. Perhaps she has something to say. I was just thinking, the tempestuous urchin says quietly, about the house on Lady Bones Road. It was boring and stupid and I hated it, but it was warm. And I had a rocking horse with a red ribbon. She is silent for a moment, picking at a thread on her sleeve. I wasn't very naughty. They still made me go back to the orphanage. She rubs her nose. No, she once lived in a house on Lady Bones Road. We discuss the shattered palace. See what comes up here. Let's see if there's any more information. Oh, I gained a royal blue feather. Interesting. I feel sorry for the people in that palace, says the tempestuous urchin airily. They're never allowed to talk to commoners, even though some commoners aren't completely stupid, like you. As if this gracious compliment was not enough, the tempestuous urchin rootles around in her sock and retrieves a damp feather. This was on the street, she says with great magnanimity, but I saved it for you. Wonderful. Okay, let's discuss spite. This was the orphanage. It's boring there, says the tempestuous urchin, but that's all right. I don't have to go back. She's then quiet for some time, picking at a scab on her knee. I heard what you said in the room, she eventually mumbles, about being a spirit or something. Anyway, it was nice. A bit. She reaches into her pocket, extracts a damp handful of wilted mushrooms and deposits them on your lap. They grow under the desks in the orphanage. I hate them. The grown-ups like mushrooms. Her cheeks go pink. Hand-picked pepper caps. I have never seen one of those before. Interesting. Well, let's go and visit the house on Ladybones Road. The tempestuous urchin lived there for a while. The tempestuous urchin leads you to a neat house with an ornamental garden. "They're away," she says. "The lady and the man. They have a big, shiny carriage, but it's not here. We can get in through the upstairs window. The latch is loose." She marches through the mushroom beds and climbs a trellis, landing with a muddy thump on the landing carpet. The upstairs landing of the house on Ladybones Road is expensively clad in flock wallpaper. There is a library at the opposite end and a drawing room downstairs, visible through the banisters. The tempestuous urchin tries the door closest to her, but it is held shut with 2 padlocks. "This is my room," she says with indignation. Why would it be locked? Well, let's go explore the library. It is lined with books, the tempestuous urchin's nemesis. The tempestuous urchin wipes a grimy finger across the embellished spines. "I asked my She stops herself. "I mean, the man who lives here. I asked him to read me a story once, but he said no. Said I had to read it myself or I wouldn't learn anything." Are other ways to learn besides reading, especially for an intelligent child? Or perhaps she should give reading another try. But only for herself, not to please others. What do I prefer here as a choice? Because there are other ways to learn besides reading, I think I am going to go with that top one. Although reading is useful, not required. "Well, I know that," says the tempestuous urchin, rolling her eyes. "If you watch people, they tell you all kinds of things without realising, and then you never have to read anything. Look." He runs over to the bureau. After a few moments of rummaging through the drawers, she emerges with a gold key and a tin of sweets. She throws the key at your feet before tipping the entire contents of the tin into her mouth. Wow. Okay, well, let's visit the drawing room. You can see the porcelain sparkle from all the way upstairs. "This is the stupidest room in the house," scoffs the tempestuous urchin. "Teacups are even worse than books. There are all these stupid rules like don't dip biscuits in them or throw them on the floor. The lady said if I didn't learn to do teacups properly, I wouldn't even get biscuits." 2 options. She was right to reject those lessons. Etiquette is just a secret code that reveals who wasn't born rich. That is probably true, but I actually personally believe in the second one here. Perhaps she should have listened. Etiquette has its uses. Because that way, people can pretend that they're rich. "Don't tell me what to do," screams the tempestuous urchin. She grabs an ornamental teapot shaped like a cabbage and hurls it at your head. You duck, and it explodes against the mantelpiece, green shards flying across the room. Amid the porcelain leaves that fall at your feet, a tiny silver key. Well, I tried. You return to the upstairs landing of the house at Ladybones Road. The tempestuous urchin fingers the silver padlock on the nursery door. "We can go in if you want," she mumbles. "I don't care." "Well, we have the keys, let's go in." You unlock both padlocks and step into a nursery festooned with lace curtains. A rocking horse sits placidly beside a glass-fronted cabinet of miniature tea sets. At the end of the bed is a well-stocked bookshelf. "Everything's different," says the tempestuous urchin quietly. Then her gaze falls on something across the room, and her lip starts to tremble. You follow her line of sight to a framed photograph on the dressing table. It is of another little girl. The tempestuous urchin runs screaming at the dressing table, grabs the photograph of the little girl and smashes it on the carpet. Then she lunges at the bookcase. Pages fly across the room like feathers. We're probably going to have to get involved here. We can allow the destruction to continue. At the very least, it should prove cathartic to her. That should encourage her to express her anger. Offer to help write her former parents a letter. It may make them reflect upon what they did. That will encourage her to control her anger. Or suggest going to get a sticky bun instead. This house is not worth her anger. Yeah, we're doing that one. Let's go get a sticky bun. The tempestuous urchin slowly removes a book from her jaws. A big bun? She says tentatively. With jam? Once she is convinced you will honour your promise, she tells you of a bakery not far away, which sells buns the size of teapots. Her erstwhile parents told her those buns were only for good little girls, so she has never eaten one. You leave the nursery. Hurry up, says the tempestuous urchin, or someone else might eat all the buns. There is no reason to stay. You slip out of the window and land back in the garden amid the ornamental mushrooms. The keys, says the tempestuous urchin. We need to give them back. She takes them from you and pushes them through the letterbox. They'll be cross that I've been here, but they won't know where to find me. She leads you to the bakery. The buns are as big as she described, and the jam is delicious, made from surface raspberries. The tempestuous urchin eats slowly, savouring every morsel. Apparently her training is complete. I think we should go see Slivy now, says the tempestuous urchin. He can tell me what to do next. Besides, we've been away ages, and he's probably even more tired than before. Let's make sure we discuss Ladybones Road before we go. How does she feel after visiting the house where she used to live? I didn't like going there, says the tempestuous urchin, and I didn't like thinking about how I'm too naughty to live in a nice house. She shrugs. But if they'd never sent me away, I'd never have met Slivy, and Storm would never have found me, and I wouldn't have met you, and you'd never have taken me back to the house, and I'd never have had that sticky bun. That's a long way of saying I really like that sticky bun. Alright, let's return to Slivy. There's nothing else for it. You return to the flit, and the tempestuous urchin scrambles up the ladder to the roofless room. Slivy's gone! She shouts as you clamber through the window after her. She goes pale. Slivy said Storm didn't want him telling you things. Maybe Storm's cross with him. Maybe he locked him up, like the man at Ladybones Road locked me in my room. She frowns. It's not fair. Slivy only wanted to help. We have to rescue him. The tempestuous urchin flings her hands towards the cavern ceiling. Do you hear me, Storm? She yells, her little body rigid with anger. We're coming for you. Come on, she says to you. We've got to rescue Slivy. Well, let's head for the coast. We'll be gone for some time, apparently. Wow, look at this. That's a cool header. Flickering clouds are gathering over the Z. The tempestuous urchin grabs your hand and pulls you toward the shore as the first forks of lightning hit the waves. You do not see the strike that hits you. The crack reverberates through your skull, and you are at once Storm, and the tempestuous urchin, and yourself. How long have you felt like this? You have suddenly always been this swirl of time and regret. Through the squall, you catch glimpses of the moments that led to this torment. You've moved to a new area, the mind of a long-dead god. Oh dear, Storm has taken us. All I can hear is thunder. Thoughts swirl around my skull. The boy's treachery is fresh, an open wound. Will this new child inflict damage too? So we have two options. I have been betrayed. The boy told my secrets. Urchin relents quality gives you a 100% chance of success. Or the new child. How can I use her? An urchin seizes control. Well, I'm guessing we're going to have to go with treachery here. I feel as though I'd have to have trained her in control in order for that to work, so let's just go with 100%, see what happens. I choose the boy. I cannot remember why, but I must trust that I had reason. I think he was like me once. Still, he is no god. My rage is his pain, and it could end him. I must restrain myself from retribution. For what reason did he betray me? Did he tell me? Perhaps his motive is lost amidst these swirling clouds. Oh dear. Okay, so we have thoughts swirl around my skull. What damage will this new child inflict? He is not like the others. So, two options. The urchins are mine. I shall speak their names. An urchin rages quality gives you 30% chance of success. Let's go with a new child. An urchin seizes control and see what happens. We failed. The girl is a splash of molten rage. I saw her gleaming in the dark city, as close to the source of her fury as I once was to my own. She remembers what she has done, yet knows no regret. I took adults from the first city, as they did as I commanded, but their minds were rotten with regret. The pain of their self-recrimination sent cracks through my skull. Since then, I have used only children. But this one is liquid heat. I cannot grasp her. Thoughts swirl around my skull. What moments led me to this place? And who is this pollutant within my own mind? Oh, it should not be like this. Which error set about my ruin? Or the child is not alone. Another has come between us. Well, this would be me, I assume, so let's go with that. When I reached out to take the child, the other came between us. From above, I watched as they led her through the city to places where she grew brighter. She changed shape then. She is no longer the tool I longed to wield, but she may still be of use. Perhaps I will learn something unforeseen when I at last take hold of her. Okay, she is not like the others. I think I have to pass these, so let's go with the urchins are mine this time. 30%. We failed. Fall after fall. Cities discarded their children. They know not what their rejection creates. A lightning cloud must discharge. The urchin's fury must go somewhere. I am too late. Their rage tears holes in the city before I can harness it for myself. Try again. We succeeded. Fall after fall, cities discarded their children. They know not what their rejection creates. A lightning cloud must discharge. The urchin's fury must go somewhere. They want guidance, and I give it to them. Where to run, how to fight, whom to kill. They will do my bidding, for I am a god. I can do I have been betrayed again. What is that gonna do? Find out. Yeah, the boy has changed because it's higher. Okay, that didn't. It gave me 3 appalling secrets, I suppose. So the urchins are my. I need to do the pain and the error. Hang on, I've got to keep re-rolling here. Here we go, the pain and the error at the same time, wonderful. Oh, and only a 30% chance of success. Okay. The pain is ceaseless, my mind is lacerated. We failed. Shards of memory slice away pieces of myself. They fall into the Z below and are lost. Yeah, it should not be like this. Which error set about my ruin? 30% again. We failed again. I enforced the wills of those above. I was cast down. I died. I kept lovers apart. I punished many who transgressed, and more who did not. I destroyed cities that cursed my name. I made acolytes of children. I spoke their names. I made them kill. Which was the error? I cannot see, and the boy cannot help me. I am a fool for believing he might. Oh, my thoughts coalesce. It is all clear. The pieces come together. It makes sense at last. I see how I came to be here, a dead skull beneath the ground. If I hold these fragments in my mind, I will know what to do. I must not falter as the charge builds and the thunderhead billows upwards. Lightning! It scatters the pieces to the winds. I curse what brought me here. I curse myself. I need all this turmoil. Well, let's do the 100% first and see what happens. Perhaps something unforeseen? Yeah, we read that. I don't quite understand how to get the all is turmoil. Their minds were rotten with regret. I appear to just be going around in circles right now. We shall keep going in circles until we find a solution to the problem. It's the same two over... here we go. The girl is a splash of molten rage. I saw her gleaming in the dark city. She remembers what she has done, yet knows no regret. Okay, so the only new thing in this seems to be that, but not since the boy have I found one that tasted so bright. So that would be our tempestuous urchin, I guess. I feel like there's some sort of secret code here that I'm completely missing. Maybe I should pay attention to what these are. Treachery? She burns. You swirl closer to the eye of the storm. Maybe I have to keep getting closer. You swirl closer to the eye of the storm. Well, I mean, we're getting closer every time I succeed here. I'm going to run out of actions if we're not careful here. Ah, the eye. There we go. Perhaps there will be clarity here. I understood it, so I had to pass consecutively to get close enough to the eye of the storm. It makes perfect sense. I was just being a little bit dim. Perhaps there will be clarity here. A gust of wind sends you trembling to the eye of the storm. A nucleus of calm amid the tempest. You are once again yourself, rain-lashed and freezing. The tempestuous urchin at your side. "Where's Slivy?" she screams. The cloud rumbles, and a bundle of rags hurtles out of the squall towards you. You catch Slivy in your arms. His shawl falls aside to reveal his pale face. He reaches a hand towards the tempestuous urchin. "You came," he whispers. He fades from my mind. It hurts. I forget his face, what went wrong, who, and I cannot picture them. "You can't work for the storm anymore," says Slivy to the tempestuous urchin. "You're different now. As soon as you get angry enough to do what Storm wants, you let go, and all the anger falls away from you like rain." He coughs. "It's alright. You're fading away for him. Soon he'll have forgotten all about you." "Then what do I do instead?" says the urchin. But Slivy's head lolls back. His breathing is shallow. He looks at you, eyes wide. 3 options. She should stay with Slivy. She cannot share his burden, but she understands it. He will draw strength from that. Or she should return to the orphanage. She can build a different life. Or we can offer to adopt her instead. You've been through so much. So these are because she's learned to let go of her anger. We could offer to adopt her. I feel like that doesn't really solve the problem of the, storm. Plus, she could destroy my house. Let's offer to adopt her, why not? The tempestuous urchin scrutinizes you. You mean it, she says. It is not a question. She gazes into the squall, intermittent flashes illuminating her face. I can't, she says eventually. Something doesn't feel right. I don't know what, but I know now. I know that how I feel matters. She wipes a raindrop from her nose. But I like that you asked. Let's say she should stay with Slivy, because the orphanage, as much as the orphanage is a wonderful place, it's an orphanage full of other kids. At least Slivy kind of understands what's going on. I will, says the tempestuous urchin. For the first time since you became acquainted, her blue eyes are calm. Suddenly, a gust of wind rips Slivy from your arms, but the tempestuous urchin grabs his hand just in time. The three of you huddle together as everything goes white. Sometime later, it is impossible to say how long, you awaken on the beach once more. This time, there are no storm chasers at your side, only a pair of urchins. Pebbles dig into your back through your soaking clothes. In the distance, a storm still rages over the Z. Come on, lazy bones, says the tempestuous urchin, pulling Slivy to his feet. We've got work to do. Let's return to London. It'll be a long walk. There is nothing more to be done here. The tempestuous urchin hoists Slivy's arm over her shoulder. I'm going to help you from now on, she says sternly, so you won't have any excuse for being tired. Now eat a toffee. As Slivy fumbles with the wrapper, thunder echoes throughout the cavern. Oh, be quiet, you old thunderclout, yells the urchin. He'll be back soon enough. Together, the three of you make your way back along the coast as the lights of London flicker into view. Slivy stops. This is where we part, he says to you. Where we're going, grown-ups can't follow. The tempestuous urchin nods. As she walks away with Slivy, she looks over her shoulder and gives you a shy smile. Well, let's do the epilogue and hope 5 actions is enough to finish it. Pebbles crack against the window of your lodgings. Oi! Yells an urchin from a nearby rooftop. He has a slingshot wedged into his belt. Slivy wants to talk! Follow me! Alright, let's follow the urchin across the rooftops. He'll lead you to Slivy. The urchin keeps his slingshot trained on you as you clamber out of your window and across the slate tiles towards him. Step exactly where I do, unless you want to end up on the cobbles, he warns. And don't even think about telling anyone where I'm taking you. Slivy's got a new helper, and she doesn't take kindly to grown-ups who think they know best. You follow the boy across the rooftops of London on a route so circuitous you could not remember it if you tried. When you eventually reach the flit, he leads you to a crumbling balcony. Slivy is there, standing straight-backed beneath a weather vane, the tempestuous urchin at his side. Finally, says the tempestuous urchin. We've been waiting ages. Slivy might have lots of time, but I don't. She grins. I'm just joking, I'm not really cross. I'm happy you came. We wanted to thank you, Slivy says. Come and speak with me. Slivy leads you to the other end of the balcony, out of the tempestuous urchin's earshot. She told me everything, he says quietly. And she learnt to let go of her anger. She doesn't know it, but Storm's changed since she was inside him. He's in less pain now. I don't know what will happen next because he doesn't. But maybe things will be easier. Having her here has helped me. At least, I've been able to sleep. Livy smiles. I asked you to help her, and you did the best you could. I'm grateful. Have you two finished? Yells the tempestuous urchin from across the balcony. Livy gives her a nod, then clambers away across the roof, leaving the two of you alone. Slivy's a lot better now, says the tempestuous urchin. He tells me about his dreams. He says it helps because I know what it's like, swirling around in the storm. Sometimes I'm a bit sad because I'll be a grown-up one day and he won't, but maybe being his friend will help me not be a bad one. She looks out across the city. I suppose I learned a bit how not to be a bad grown-up from you. How to go places that make you cross and not do bad things, even if you want to. A distant war cry echoes across the rooftops. The other urchins aren't so good at that, she muses. It's not their fault. They only trust other urchins, really. Still, they'll help you if you need it. They know what you did for Slivy, and me. This concludes the Tempest, and we gained a rookery password. A secret you must guard with your life. Use this to increase your renown. The urchin's quality by spending favours. Well, isn't that wonderful? So, this is where we leave it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that story. I think that was a wonderful story, and it was an interesting journey about the urchins of London. Like you learned a bit more about how their society worked and things, and you got to learn about what it's like to be inside of Storm's mind. I kind of understand why he keeps trying to kill me in Sunless Seas now. But, as I say, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, let me know what you think. Your comments are greatly appreciated. And as always, I'll see you next time.